Nickson Clark! He is in the building. It has been a long time coming. Our friend, our brother, our boy.
That live is something else.
One of the greatest to ever do it. That voice that we all know, that we all love. Nickson Clark is in the building.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're a little grayer than last time we saw you, man. What's going on? You all right?
Yeah, nah, it's just the stress of worrying about my friends out in new media. Just hoping they're okay.
Look at him. Boy, here he is, man. It is good to see my friend, our
It's good to be
friend.
here. So the confidence of you trying to be all nice to me when I've heard in recent podcasts you trying to call me out, trying to fight.
What is that? Yeah, what is that? What is that? Let's talk about that.
I don't know. What is that kind of energy?
Hold on a second.
Explain to me how you think you can give me a hiding in a fight for life.
Are you being serious? No, Nickson, let's not. We don't want to start with this energy. Are you being serious?
I'm being serious. I want to hear the exact game plan on how you
Let me play ref real quick.
knock you out.
Let me play ref, okay?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know who threw it out there, but someone threw it out there that you lost to Bryce Casey. What's his name?
Yeah, Bryce Casey.
I think, sorry.
Yeah.
And then Brook said, well, then that would make you light work. So
you would.
I kind of agree, but like,
nah. See, this guy's probably thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." You know exactly what Mike Tyson the Great said. Everyone's got a plan. Everyone can say whatever they need to say until they get punched in the face.
You take me with like two left feet. I look at you like he's got two left feet, two left hand. The jab wouldn't be there. The lungs aren't there. He ain't what he used to be.
What people will discover throughout this podcast is that Brook is legitimately a mini me.
You wait till we get it. He started to dress like me, and that's what's in my head.
You're me from Wish.
Bro, you're just a richer version of me. You saw me and he was like, I've got money. I'm going to do it.
Brook, when we first started, Nickson was calling me about the way you anchored the show. I was like, bro, we're not anchoring anymore. He's like, yeah, but I could do a better job.
Yeah. And then I agreed that I'd see my future on the morning shift as the content director one day.
Anyway, let's get into
so
this.
I can put you back in your place.
Let's get into
this. I've missed you so much.
It's good to be here.
I have missed you, my bro. Before we talk about you and intro you, please intro yourself, Nickson. Who are you to people who maybe don't know who you are?
I am Nickson, one of the founding members of the morning shift. I brought all these guys together.
Bro?
Go tell your story. Tell how you think that is true.
all these guys together, like all of you.
Me and Marc met many and many years before. Jordan and I had been friends a long time before that too. But okay.
At our previous employment, right? I left. Brooke came in. I brought
Let's
Jordan
say My FM.
I brought Jordan onto the My Morning crew, and then Jordan didn't know about this guy Marc, Matua Marc. Now they're like best buddies, and now we're all sitting in a room together.
It's true. He's the glue that brought us all and stuck us all together.
The common denominator of the morning shift.
It's actually quite sad. We're probably least close with Nickson now.
I know, you guys forgot about me.
He's on that real money.
No, who are you for real?
Nah, so my name's Nickson. I spent a lot of years doing radio on My FM, and I'm a lover of lawns, God-fearing man. Very loyal husband to a beautiful wife, Sarah, and just a all-around good guy.
You got some dark humor for a God-fearing man.
His dad's Freemason.
Yeah, that is true, but we don't talk about that. That's society.
Hey, I wanted to come to one of those meetings. You didn't. We said we were going to go.
Do you have a coat?
I need to put a Freemasonry in my life.
My dad asked me to come along to one of the meetings, and my mum was like, "Nope,
no,
that is the devil." So
Nickson's joking, by the way.
No, and so lover of lawns. Just all-around good guy, just trying to make it.
Okay, we always start the show with what we call Meet Us at the Five. 5 quick questions.
Brook, you got us.
Bro, that was the hardest question of the whole bloody podcast.
No. They get harder, way harder.
You wait. We got a quick five.
Like, why do you look sad these days? No.
Why you always slouching?
Why do you look a bit heavy? Like you're carrying the burdens of the world on you.
Actually, I need to talk to you about a post you did recently.
What did I do?
Just randomly. This guy just randomly put up a post.
What did I say?
Get him, bro. I agree. Go get him.
And then as I scrolled through the carousel, there's just this random photo of me flexing my bicep. And I was like, there's no context to this. So that's why I look swole,
guys.
I've been bulking.
And sorry if you feel like you've come into a tea room, to the tea room where you might understand all the inside jokes, guys. We're talking again with our mate, but basically I put a photo burst up, and Nickson. Here's the thing you need to know about Nickson. He will send you himself. Like you asked, you'll be minding your own business, I'm getting on with my day, and I'll just have this tensing flex photo from Nickson, you like that, daddy? He'll say something like,
that's the relationship we have.
He'll actually say something quite rude, Don't masturbate.
Not with the Z.
And then I put it in my purse, and he was like, "Oi, what the hell? Safe space. Why did you do that?"
That was for your own personal.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
Meet me at the 5. First question.
do you know what the 5 is?
Yeah, I
because
do.
you're not sporty. You're not athletic. Okay, sorry.
You're not, but okay.
But look at this body.
It's a temple. It's a temple.
We've been looking at it.
Okay, who's the greatest R&B artist of all time? That's question number 1.
Oh,
R. Kelly.
come on, bro.
Nah, but you got like I know.
No, it's not one of
Nickson,
those
I can
separate
see-
art
Nickson,
ones.
Nickson.
Change your answer.
Okay.
Change your answer. I'm not having it.
Okay, Babyface.
Okay, yeah, you can have that. Okay, if you did have another charity fight, I'm not in it. Mike Hosking's not in it. Randy from My Nights isn't in it. Anyone who's still in radio, who would you love to fight?
Damn, you took all the people we wanted to bully.
Yeah, I have to take them out. Now go get someone.
Like, who would you know you'd beat?
Do you know who I would give a? Oh, he just finished up, but
Why don't you just say someone you want to fight?
Duncan Garner.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he's got you too.
No, he doesn't.
Oi, Duncan Garner's got a little bit more power. He's got more to, like, I
Yeah,
would
but
back
I've got
Duncan Garner.
endurance.
You better beat Duncan Gunner.
I'm going with DG. I'm going with DG.
Not the parent chat. You better.
Oh, you better beat
You better.
Mike Hosking too.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think they'll be bullying if I beat him.
Okay, who's the greatest athlete of all time?
Of all time,
Of all time, yeah.
greatest athlete. I have two. Tiger Woods, but also you can't dismiss someone like Jonah Lomu. Like Jonah is a
First
goat.
global superstar. For
Yeah,
us.
hard out. He put rugby on the map.
Okay, start, cut, bench. New
Oh.
Zealand, Australia, Samoa. Because you have and anyone who doesn't know, you've got a background in
Oh, you're-
Australia. Yeah, you
are
lived
you
in Australia
Australian?
for a while.
I went to school in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you got bullied. Eh?
No.
Where'd
Bro, I
you
was
get
the
bullied?
only Samoan kid in that school.
Where'd you get bullied?
I know that's
didn't
why
get
it's awkward
bullied.
because you're the only Samoan that got bullied. Bullied.
Bullied.
Booty.
Um,
Because your booty was out.
read that question one more time. Read that question again. Read it again.
Start, cut, bench.
Yeah.
New Zealand, Australia, Samoa.
I want to start Samoa.
Why won't you? Start
money,
them.
It's money issues. Money issues.
issues. This guy, right?
I'll bench New Zealand. And then what was the other option?
Cut, Australia.
Yeah, cut Aussie.
Okay, we've got another one. Start, cut, bench. Edge, my, lawn mowing.
Damn.
You got to go back to work tomorrow. Remember that.
Damn.
Yeah.
But place that you spent a
Be
lot of
honest,
time.
though. Be honest.
Don't lie, Nickson. Look at us. No. Look us
Why
dead
are
in
you
the
like
eyes.
looking?
Stop
Why are you
looking
looking
down.
at your
Look us
hands?
in the
real, like,
eyes.
bro, just relax.
Look at us. I'll ask you
Relax,
again. I'll ask
man.
you one more
Try
time.
and get me fired.
Relax.
Start, cut, bench. Edge, my, or lawn mowing.
Okay, I'll
Bro, you have a contract.
Yeah, I
you have a
know.
contract.
Okay,
and
so-
you'll be able to see it out. Relax.
I'll start Edge.
Whoa! Oh,
That
after
hurt. You just
all
hit the
you
hearts.
went
I'll
through,
bench
Nickson.
lawn mowing, and I'll cut mine.
Yep.
But I say that respectfully because I've done my time, and I want them to do well. But for me, I've moved on now.
Okay, we'll sit in that pocket really,
Yeah.
really quickly, okay? What's the reason that you left my?
Oh,
Really, really quickly. Why did you
because
leave my?
people think you took the money.
No. And I want you to know that the money is okay. Did we finally get the real answer?
What did that money look like? If you,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
An
it doesn't
Audi and a
matter, right? It doesn't
Volkswagen, so
matter.
it looks of things.
Doesn't matter.
No. The real reason why I left, I just grew old. That's it. Like that's the real reason why I left. I just
And the money and a challenge.
you never want to overstay your welcome, right? And I felt like I'd done my time, and I was just getting old, and
That's
I didn't want to get people to get sick of me, so I decided to leave as they were getting sick of me rather than they were like sick.
Cough twice too, though, if it was the money as well.
No, it wasn't.
Nah,
It wasn't.
But
It
it's
wasn't.
it's like when the chariot's starting to get on fire, you just kind of hop off and then.
I was just like, nah. And the best thing, that if I didn't leave, you wouldn't have been able to.
We might not be here
There's
now.
some beautiful
You're right.
things that came.
Boy,
because
well
of
So
it.
it flourished,
Well
right?
done.
So, and I knew that I could leave it in a good state, and then it could continue to do whatever it did, or continue to do now. So
We'll get into
We'll
that.
get into
later.
that work stuff later.
Final question for Meet Me at the 5 for Nickson. Question number 5. What is your biggest accomplishment?
biggest accomplishment. I think. It would be 100%. I've got two actually. The main one is finding the love of my life, Sarah, and then being able to hold that down for a decade now of being
Beautiful.
married. 12 years together, 10 years married, And second one is obviously planting the seed for the morning shift. Like, those are my two biggest accomplishments.
Oh my God. Well, it's funny
He's
you talk
good,
about
this
the
guy,
morning
man, he's
shift
good.
because we thought we would start by going around and saying just quickly who you are to us.
No, bro, this is like, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
This is like a eulogy.
You are dead inside though. So, Mato Mark, do you want to start?
Yeah, I have many favourite memories with you, Nickson. I always enjoy your sense of humour. It can be construed the wrong way, I think, from a lot of people. But you're hilarious, and I've always enjoyed it. I think one of my favourite times on my FM with you was when I think you were talking about how someone didn't wave to you or something like that, and you were having a go at people for, especially Auckland drivers.
Aucklanders don't wait.
He
Aucklanders
had a
don't
go
wave.
at someone who was like, that's right.
Yes.
Talk about that. What happened?
Yeah, and Nickson went on a high horse talking about how I can't believe it. The outlandish Auckland behaviour. No one waves. And I went down country and everyone was waving. They're friendly. Aucklanders suck. And then we got this torrent of texts and phone calls about how you had snogged people in Auckland.
Yeah,
It
apparently
actually-
Kmart, people at Kmart Henderson don't like me for some reason. They reckon I'm so rude.
I'm pretty sure it was most of West Auckland.
Can I interject quickly? It actually continued for like 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
it actually affected your mental health. I remember don't lie. I remember the second week, like you came and you're like, bro, I'm over this, eh? Like people just having a go now. Like saying like I didn't say hi 10 years ago at McDonald's drive-through. Like I'm over it.
That
Like
actually is true.
It's a good reminder for everyone, though, like especially in our roles, that you just don't know who you might not be saying hi to.
Yeah, but
You're ahead of time.
sometimes you forget that people listen, and then because we let out so much of our lives in on that platform, that they think that they know you like real deep.
Totally.
like they have access to you. Like
And I apologize because, like, obviously that feeling doesn't go two ways. Because
And saying that, like you're a very private person. I don't think a lot of people
Yeah,
would
you
really
are.
know that outside of the doors. So
yeah, and I'm shy.
you're a shy guy.
Yeah.
I'm shy ass.
yeah, true. My there's many favorite moments about you, Nickson, and who you are to us. One of my favorites was a little one was Nickson used to always do this thing where if he just didn't like the conversation in the room, he'd just put his headphones on and he'd fully pretend like he couldn't hear what was going on. And some days, if we're being honest, I was left out on my own island to fend for myself, and like would be having scraps, about like what's in the show. I'd look at him. I know full well he can hear everything, and he'd just interject at the most awkward time and be like, "Have you heard that Lizzo girl's new song?" And I just look at him, and he just look back at me blank, like, "What?" And I just used to be like, "You are the most selfish prick I've ever worked with."
Pick your battles, fun.
But
Pick your battles.
You're right. But
Pick your battles.
my favorite moment was when I came to to do the show. Nickson pretty much brought me from my old job and was like, "Look, you're gonna be the next, host." But so I left that job, and somehow 3 months later, it's like, like we're close, like I didn't. He's like it's a shoe in the door, like. But the higher ups need to they're still kind of vetting you, they don't really get it, but like they're gonna get it, like. And I'm like, well, I left my job. He's like, yeah. So I'm already like, I realize that's the seed that he's planting, right? The seed of doubt, the seed of like, I should be grateful, like I should be a little bit scared, afraid. Next week he pulls me into the office, be like, "Bro, can I have a chat with you, like just between boys?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, slides this paper off across the table, like it kind of slid like half a meter perfectly, goes right in front of me. Now, I'm not saying I'm ungrateful, but for the salaries that we should be on a breakfast show that's rating well, I know what it should kind of be thereabouts with. This guy tried to sign me. He's like, "Can you do me a favor? Like, can you do me a solid?" He goes, "Can you do me a solid for the boys? Like, can you just sign this contract?" It was for $40K a year. I later find out that he gets big bonuses if he keeps his budget under what he's supposed to spend.
Big dog's got to eat.
And
Big dog's got to eat.
I don't know why, but there's something that I appreciate about someone who's that arrogant to think someone would just like take that. It's admirable.
But you think about, imagine if
here
he
we go.
did sign that piece of paper. I would have got such a deal. Like that,
Look at us. You're hanging us out to dry because you had the same line with me.
What did you?
can you do me a? He called me in Australia, and he was like, oh.
And you a street team, like you've done it all. You've done.
I've done the nights. I had done the nights. It's cold out there.
Real question is, Nickson, had you practiced the sliding of the contract so that it landed perfectly in
It
front of him?
landed perfectly.
Yeah, that's my athleticism. I've just been able
That's
to.
the Midas touch. For those who don't know, Nickson was actually our boss for a point as well. So Nickson would do the morning show, and then after the morning show would stay around all day and then be our boss. And he would have to go to meetings, and he would have to interact with all of us in the afternoon. But Nickson made, because I never got to work with you on air, but Nickson maybe made the OG safe space.
I heard this.
There was a time for maybe about 3 months where Nickson said between 2 o'clock and 2:05.
That's right, 2 and 2:05
You can say whatever you would like to say.
What was said?
in the office.
I swear, Jordan, that's not good. We cannot repeat it. But that was the type of boss that Nickson was. He said between 2 and 2:05, nothing is off limits, and he would always be the barometer and be like, okay, this is where we're going to set it today. And Nickson would always come in at 2 o'clock and be like, boom. Yeah. And set the tone real high, and they would all just kind of tally off the back of that.
Like I would question Fame's outfits. Fame, who used to do the show with Brook, I would question that.
Oh, that's been nice, Nickson. We all said some things.
But what happens in the office between 2 and 2:05 stays in the office.
But I just want you to know that's the type of boss that Nickson was.
Yeah.
What was your favourite my moment? Or it doesn't even have to be my. What was your favourite moment when we were all working together?
Us guys.
Us, no, the one thing, the one thing I do miss a lot, and I know that it will sound weird unless you grew up with this kind of culture, but the continuous mocking we could all dish out, whether it was on air or off air, the chats that we could create together collectively, and the last we can get out of it. I could have had the worst day, and then you guys will mock me about it. And it would just make me smile, and I think that's what I miss the most.
It's hard because not many people obviously have ever broadcasted before, so it's a bit of a conversation. But people can't appreciate how you talk on air and there's a sense of censorship, swearing or saying and so you're so bottled in. You're trying to keep this tension between.
Oh, if you could hear what happened during the songs that were played,
that's the real show.
It's the real show. I remember we once wanted to live broadcast the whole show, you could watch it on Facebook Live.
You can't.
And I think Jordan was the one who was like, no.
You need a break.
You need a break, yeah.
Actually, let's continue that kind of line of work. So if you're listening, we're talking with Nickson Clark, who we used to work with at MyFM, who he won't say it, but I think is one of the most talented and amazing broadcasters there's ever been, namely because you cut your work in the, I hate to say the word, urban space, through New FM, through and then you're able to go to a mainstream Edge. What I appreciate is I don't think that any of those broadcasters that might start at an Edge or a ZM, they could never come to mine. And so I think you're a very gifted broadcaster. I think you're the man. Before we get into the personals, can we just actually start with your journey of broadcasting? How did you get into the game? When did you know you wanted to be
Yeah, I've always wanted to know, why did you start?
And can you make it listenable?
What do you mean?
Nah, give us the real.
Nah, so in school, I wanted to be a builder. That's what I wanted to be. And then I kept getting report cards saying, oh, Nickson talks too much. And then I sat there one day with our guidance counselor, and I was like, how about I turn that negative into a positive? And then now, fast forward 20 years, now I get paid to talk, right? So I turned that negative into a positive. And then I met Oscar Kitely, who went to my school when I came back for my senior years at Rutherford College, and he gave me some work experience at New FM when they just started New FM.
Yeah, can you talk about New FM real quick? Because I know this got a special place in your heart, right?
Yeah. Or that gave me and Nate our first shot, and they were created to be the Pacific version of My FM, right? So My was predominantly Māori, and it represented for the youth, and wanted to really embrace Te Reo Māori, where New FM was doing the exact same, but it was for Pacific Islanders. And so they gave us our first shot. Oscar and Mario, they were doing the breakfast show, and then Mario taught me how to panel. So that's how I learned how to do it. And so every day before school, in my last year of school, year 13, I would go in and panel that breakfast show.
In school.
Oh, okay.
So I was
Wow.
paneling that show for them, and that's how I kind of got good at pushing the buttons and all that sort of stuff. And then after that, they asked Nate and I to do radio training school. And they needed us because they needed X amount of Polynesians in there for them to get funding. So they gave us a scholarship to go do that. And so we went and did that. And during that time when Nate and I were at radio school, they were running a competition to try and find a night show host for a new station that they were starting called Flavor. And so Nate turned to me while we were studying, and he was like, I dare you to enter that. I dare you to enter it. And I was like, nah, you know, radio games, like they've probably already got somebody. They're just doing it for a bit of promo, a bit of clout. Anyway, I just did it, and I won it. I won that job. And that was at the same time that they were filming Sione's wedding. And so Oscar and Tawila were there at the same time, and they had to go off. So I got promoted from that night show to the drive show, and I was doing drive on Flavor for a couple of years. And then, and then after that, I met one of the big bosses at where I am now, and he said, do you want to come work for me? And then I was like, oh, yeah. So I handed in my notice at Flavor, and then that's when I started at Edge, and then for the first time. And then Edge, the company that owns Edge, bought my FM off Ngāti Whātua, and they needed someone to go in and help transform that into what it is today. And so that was my in. And they were like, do you want to be the boss, or do you want to do breakfast show? And I was like, oh, breakfast sounds easier. It's only 4 hours a day. And that's how I started on my morning career. And then they...
Breakfast sounds easier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not many breaks, not many songs in the hour.
And then
Waking up at that side.
I did that show with quite a few people until... and I always promised Nate, because of that one time that he dared me and gave me my first mainstream, shot and encouraged me to do that. I always said that one day we'll do a show together. And then the Nickson and Nate brand was created.
Run us through that time. That was a special time, man. I remember listening to Nickson, Nate, and Lily, and you guys had a product that was almost second to none. Well, at that time, too, it was a culture changer as well. I would sit in the car and wait for you guys to listen and finish breaks, because I was like, you guys are so engaging.
Well, if Nate was here, but obviously for obvious reasons he's not.
That's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke. I'm trying to lighten it to make myself feel better.
Yeah, correct.
But I gave him the same line as I gave you two. Can you do me a solid?
You're that guy, eh?
I was that guy.
DNA.
Anyway, so so Nate and I did that show together for a bit, and then Kanoa came on, and then she wanted to go and do TV stuff, so we just put out the feelers to try and find somebody new. But we wanted somebody that was like not radio at all. And a girl sent through a video, and she was very clever because she uploaded it to YouTube, but she made it private. So if she didn't get the job, we wouldn't be able, or no one would be able to see it.
Was that
And
Lily?
that was Lily, and that's how we found her. And she did it under the Harbour Bridge. She filmed her video under the Harbour Bridge with a Chicago
wind.
Bulls
Any wind.
top. Yeah. And then that's how that was created. And she's Lily still to us now is like our little sister. Like, we love her to bits. And she wanted to go off to London and live her best life. So.
Can I just ask, Nickson, do you reckon your upbringing plays a big part in your career with your ability to duck and weave with both, what would generally be considered white stations and brown stations?
Yeah, because my dad is English, white, and then my mum is full Samoan. So yeah, I get the best of both worlds, so I can balance cultures. But also, I think I surround myself with people that I know. I have a good gauge on what's cool and what's not from the people that I surround myself with. So I feel like I get a good understanding of what will work and what won't.
I also think too, and this is just
Also, I grew up as an only child too.
true.
So
So you're in for it yourself.
Yeah.
I
We've
get
got
that.
similarities, eh?
I also think you're a comfort blanket to middle management in radio, which is typically the same color. And you can talk that talk. Do you know what I mean? There are people who will go into these brands and not understand that it's a corporate world, that you need to be able to do just as much corporate talk as it is to, say, radio talk.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know how to switch. But also, I just feel like if people are still thinking that way about, the color of a brand, I think that's more of their reflection in the mirror that they need to check.
That was a nice deflection back on me.
Well,
I like that.
But I mean, if Gucci can use colored people and all these real high luxury brands, then why are some brands that have only got one shop here in Aotearoa struggling to see that possibility with a station like mine?
True. That reminds me, shifters, don't never look at the posters, look at who's on the board.
True that.
I wanted to ask you quickly, I found when I worked with you, I was like, this guy's an eat-ass.
You were calling me an eater since
And I mean that
before.
I mean that in the best way.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have your thoughts on it because, you know, we talk about, you know, the fluidness of being able to go between cultures, walk in a room and work in a different room and know how to change it up, you know, which is a gift. But I feel like you kind of understood in some ways needed a villain. And when I say that because I know I've met all your day ones.
Yeah.
And very fine brown men, you know, like the gang. Like I know you're so proud of your Samoan heritage, and I feel like at times, you know, it was often, maybe I don't want to take credit, but before I came, I felt like people were like, oh, Nickson, like, nah, that guy ain't it. But like, why did you feel okay to play that character? And I don't know if it was a character for you, but have you ever had any thoughts on that when I've asked you about that?
Yeah, no, I feel like if you had a group of people that were all the same,
True,
it would be boring, right? And this was my outlet for me to go, while I'm here, I'm going to have fun with it and push it, you know, like, and make people feel something. That's what I've always wanted to do. I wanted people to feel something. I wanted you to feel like you hated me. I wanted to feel like you loved me, or I wanted you to feel like I was just making you feel like a certain kind of way. That's what I always wanted. So I always did it to do the show justice. I played that role. I mean, but it's not me. It was just it was just an extension. It was like me plus GST.
I want to take credit that, you know, you might have made the morning shift, but I feel like I made you likable.
That's the funny thing,
I'm
though.
content if I'm not likable, though.
We have discussed this, and you're so right. It's about making sure that you get the best out of your content by having been able to extend it as far as you can with the characters you have, right?
Yeah.
And that comes down to support. That comes down to pushing and pulling on the certain topic that you're talking about.
Yeah.
If everyone just has the same take, it's never going to go anywhere. But it's like for you to be able to take a knee and go, well, this might not be the most comfortable person to be, but I know that this is going to make the content pop. I'll do it.
I feel like one of the most attractive things to hear on radio is when someone can gracefully take the L.
Yes.
Like I think that is one of the like
that's the art.
That is an art, and there's not many people now that are comfortable to take the L because
100.
they think, oh no, what are people gonna say? You got to shake that. That's why I never read the text line. I never read the text line. It's like if you can't take the bad, then don't take the good.
Yeah,
don't
right.
read anything, right?
Yeah.
So I never read it.
It's a good lesson in life too.
Otherwise it shakes you, right? Yeah. Otherwise it shakes you. And that's why I don't do much on social. I don't do, you know, I put up stuff that's like outside.
Oh, you're doing a bit these days.
Ads up there,
Lego man.
But see, it's so off what you would hear on radio because I want to live like.
This guy's changes, bro. He used to like mock me for like doing any kind of like branding, like influencing on Instagram. Next minute,
but I
this
didn't
guy's
know you get paid for
Bunnings.
that.
But you get paid
Lego.
too, eh?
Yeah, you get paid
He's
good for
doing the
that.
good ones too. He's doing the good ones.
Actually, can we talk about your transformation just quickly, like in terms of fashion? Because you used to
I want
wear
some credit
leggings.
for that too.
You used to wear leggings and like the wrong type of Vans.
Bro, and
So,
Surprise.
I
And
think-
now, like the shoes you're wearing now are probably like $1,200.
Bro, a t-shirt's looking at like 120.
Straight jeans now.
I remember it was probably about a month. So Jordan and I had like a really rocky relationship, you know, heading into.
Hey man.
And I'm saying that gracefully.
Hey man.
But we
Maybe
had
I am the problem in a lot of things.
no, you are. You're 100%.
But I'm glad you came into my life, either problem or no problem.
Facts.
But I think so. We were, you know, still trying to feel each other out. You know, making sure that you know we knew each other's boundaries and all that sort of stuff. I think a month into working together, Jordan just out of nowhere was like, "Bro, your style is whack. Your jeans are too tight, and your shoe game is off."
You make it sound like I'm like trying to say like that. It's about fashion. I just meant like I think you could have done way. It wasn't giving you any favors.
No, and I
You looked a foot shorter.
Did I listen though?
You did.
See, so that's why I was like, "Thank you."
You started dressing like the rich version of me. You're what I wanted to look like.
Again.
Bro, he took mine and then he went with it and was like, yeah, this is how you do it, bro. And I was like, well, 40,000 isn't helping me get to where I want to be. Hey, I think I'm the only person who can ask this because you guys are a part of the morning crew. Like when you guys were together, I think there was something very, very special. And one of the most daunting things was coming in and sitting on a seat that you have sat in and owned for years and years and years. And I was like, hey, I wasn't ready for it at the time. And it was very abrupt how quickly it happened.
Yeah.
You guys had something very, very special. Is there one part of you, just a small part of you that goes, man, I wonder what we could have done if I just stayed a couple more years.
Nah, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. And I think you're being too hard on yourself saying that you weren't ready for it. I left knowing that you were ready for it. And I always told you, I told you a number of times in that journey that I was like, I'll go soon, and that seat's yours.
That soon was very quick.
Yeah, but I knew you were ready for that. So that's why I was like,
Telling
no.
us a week before Christmas was a bit rough. That was a bit rough, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. That's not the way that I wanted to see it out, but that's just the way that it played out.
I looked at this guy when they announced it in the room, and Nickson just kind of looked past me and vaped. And I was like,
That's the most Nickson
I was like,
thing
bro,
ever.
I hate this guy that I
Hiding the
love, but I love this guy.
emotions. Hiding the emotions with the vape.
And then everyone left, and it was just the team. And Nickson was like, "Oh, where's the Christmas party?" I was like, "This guy's the most awkward guy. Like, he is the worst." But you are.
I don't know if I outright said it, but I think that if you saw probably the last couple of months of working with me, that I was getting tired, and that
Oh, no, you said it.
yeah, I think
many
I did.
occasions.
Yeah, I think I did. I was
Yeah.
just I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Why
think,
though?
I think I'm gonna call.
jokes.
I think I'm gonna call it at the end of the year.
Well, you had been through so many rebuilds of the so-called morning show, right? Like
Yeah.
you'd managed to be a part of that rebuild.
I think we built it 5 times. We
Whew.
built that show
Wow.
5 times. And
How long were you at MyFM?
12 years.
Wow.
12 years.
That's huge. I have a question, re your passion for sport and the NRL. Now, you do the emceeing for the Blues, but who's your NRL team?
Melbourne Storm.
Melbourne Storm. How
Like,
long?
Billy Slater is
Why?
my goat.
Why and how long? Because you're Auckland, man. Like you're an Auckland celebrity. You're a part of the paper, the wallpaper.
So my whole family are Broncos supporters.
Mm.
And they were hearty, or they are hearty Broncos supporters, and they were there before 95. And so they, you know what it's like switching teams. And then I didn't really vibe with the Broncos, so then I waited until 98, and that's when I jumped on, and purple was my favourite colour, so I jumped on Melbourne Storm.
Now, I would love to believe you, and because you don't have social, you probably would have missed the fact that we had a cringe photo competition. But I have a photo for you to look at, and it doesn't have a Melbourne Storm flag hanging up on the background.
Where did you get that photo?
Wow. Is that?
I do not see any
Who is
purple.
that?
I do see a really banging mink blanket, though.
Yeah, boy. Every
Yeah,
someone
shout
could
out
have
mink
a mink
blankets,
blanket.
eh?
Thank you for that.
You're a real one if you've got a mink blanket, but that's a Warriors sign, an Auckland Warriors flag in the background.
That's a bit early for you to be eating your feelings.
Delete that now.
Damn.
Wow, we went into the
No,
archives.
bring it back up. Bring it back up.
No.
He needs to get humbled. This guy's way too
is
high
that?
up most of the time.
That's my dad.
You.
Can we do a quick before you continue, Matoma? Can we do a quick exercise here? Like, can you speak us through who that Nickson is? What's
Yes.
going who's that Nickson to you? The inner child.
That Nickson was a child where his mum and dad never said no when he asked for McDonald's.
I'm sad because I eat and I eat because I'm sad.
What a great life! Wait, never had this food at home. No,
I'm
we'll make
good.
a stop off for you, my boy. We'll make a stop off for you, my boy.
Yeah.
Okay, go the
Wow.
Warriors. Go the Warriors.
Look at baby Nickson. Wow. Holy.
I didn't even.
I can't tell if you're the bully or you get bullied.
Nah, he gets bullied.
Nah, I was never bullied. But
Man, that's
a photo.
That's who created the
Well
monster.
done, Matua,
You
for
became
finding
a
that.
monster after
I
that.
don't know
didn't you?
where you got that from.
Mm.
But wow.
I just want to say, was all year long. That biggest fan, number 1 fan right there.
There's actually more to that story. Like, why wouldn't you support the Warriors? And in fact, when I actually was a broadcaster with you, you actually used to dog the Warriors.
The team.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team. But not the boys.
Is there a story of why?
Yeah, because I want to surround myself with people who win.
That's interesting because we heard that you won a singing competition to sing the national anthem at a Warriors game.
No, see, well, you know the biggest thing that pisses me off about this?
Got him.
Can I tell you why
The
this
silence
annoys-
was loud.
This is the real Nickson.
No.
This is a real new media, baby. Ain't no lies right here, my boy.
you know what annoys me the most? It's not that. What he just said. It's the fact that when did you guys start doing research?
Oh,
Or prep work?
What are you?
Don't do
that's-
this. Don't do this. We see what you're doing, Nickson.
What are you talking
Don't
about,
do
Iceman?
this.
let's get back to the.
Matsu is on fire.
So that's the other thing we had to ask is apparently you're in a soccer team and and get this, your nickname was Iceman, not because of Michael Jones, but because you used to freeze up.
That's never. That's not.
I'm gonna come to you.
I won many trophies in my soccer.
Iceman!
I'm just gonna put.
Who messaged?
Give him a hug.
Who messaged you all these?
Give him a hug.
things?
Hey, look, I might have gone to one of those Freemason meetings.
Maybe.
No.
But we don't talk because that's a secret
No,
society.
let's just confirm though. Is that why your hate is for the Warriors? Did you have a bad experience?
No.
Okay.
It's just not, like, I love the boys, have a lot of respect for them. It's just not my team.
Could be subconscious. It's fine.
It could be.
Oi, Iceman.
Yeah.
Oi,
That's great.
yeah, hey, it is what it is. But I'm interested in hearing now a little bit more about your love life.
Love life.
Yeah, without us throwing more barbs in there.
Because Sarah gave us that context.
Well, I was going to say that it was based on a lot of trust, but obviously that's not a thing.
Oi, well done, Sarah.
Wow. No, my love life is amazing. I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, love didn't really start until 12 years ago for me when I met Sarah.
He's back.
She's the greatest thing that's ever came into my life. That's ever come into my life. But yeah.
Whoa, it's a lot of C words.
I was like, got to correct that.
I think you should have left it.
But yeah, no, I think she's made me a better person, a better broadcaster. Like I think I've got like two filters that I always run through my head before I even say anything on the mic, and it's don't embarrass your wife and don't embarrass your mum. Those are my two filters. So, and like Sarah's always there. Like we've helped each other through a lot of situations, like mental health, and like she's had a few health issues that which has taught me empathy. I didn't have any empathy.
You're hard on
Right.
yourself.
Didn't
You
they?
did.
You didn't.
Nah, I think you did. You're hard on
Nah,
yourself.
he didn't.
No, well, even if I did, I wouldn't let it get to me. Like I couldn't embrace other people's feelings very well, and I'm not proud
empathy
of
though,
that.
empathy's like very labor intensive. If you think about it, like it's a lot easier to separate yourself from whatever other people are feeling and keep inside your bubble. It takes a lot of energy and time and effort to be empathetic to someone else's situation.
100%.
And you know, when you was talking about being at mine and being tired and all those rebuilds and stuff, like empathy is secondhand. Like you've got to protect yourself in this industry.
Yeah, no, and that's it. And there was some things where I just wouldn't let it get to me. Like if someone said, "Oh, I can't come to work today because I broke up with my boyfriend," I'm like, "What?"
Get to work.
You get to work. I do
Work to be
not
done.
care. I do not care. And I think,
But you expected that in the same, like, you're not someone who's like, feel for me.
yeah, no, exactly right. So it's like I don't want you to feel anything on a personal level for me. So
How does she make you a better broadcaster? Can you keep, like,
I think just like helping me be comfortable with the characters that I play, or also like being like honest and true, and telling a story and just running it through with her, and her helping me pick out the moments that I shouldn't probably say out loud, or you know. And I think what she sees is like a different version of Nickson to what you probably
totally.
listen to every day.
totally?
So I get all my like filtering through Sarah, and then that story I know once I've told Sarah is good to go for radio. So she's helped me with that, and also just like life experience. You know, like I've been like a lone wolf like my whole life basically, other than my parents.
You are Mowgli, eh?
Well, I haven't had any siblings to bounce anything off, and I never really had to care for anything. Or nothing was really my responsibility. We're coming into a relationship where you actually treasure and respect and love this person. It's like a team that I was never really a part of before. So she's taught me how to like, you know, share and be more comfortable in a, you know, loving and compassionate arena.
People can hear it already, but if you never listen to my FM, you know how much you love your wife.
Yeah,
There's nothing that we can say about that.
That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah,
This
Bob
isn't-
and weave as much as you want with this one, and take it as far or as short as you want to go. But tell us about the last year of your life with Sarah. And some of the challenges, because we're lucky enough, we know you, we know we have chats outside of when the microphones and the cameras are rolling, and we know it hasn't always been easy.
Yeah.
But how was the last year been for you guys?
the last year has been the hardest year, in all honesty, for our relationship and just everything that's going on. You know, it's I think COVID, we were so isolated for so long.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you start to have those deeper, meaningful chats. But also, like Sarah, and she won't mind me talking about this, but she hasn't been...
This is safe.
100%. And you're like brothers to her too. So I know that you treat her with so much respect and grace. But, you know, she hasn't been well. And I think that seeing somebody that you love so much go through that much pain, and me not knowing how to sometimes show her the right amount of love, or the right amount of like attention that she needs has been a bit tough. And we've been on a journey, obviously figuring that out, and then knowing that you know, we've been on a fertility journey as well. So, and man, I don't know if anybody else has gone through this, but you see so many people just have sex once and they're pregnant, you know, and then but like when you're actually trying, it takes an emotional toll on a relationship.
And not many people talk about it, but for those who go through it, they know exactly what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, right. And so, and know that you're not alone on this journey. And I wish more people did talk about it. But, you know, we found out that probably having a baby is going to be a lot harder for us, if even possible. So, and that's been something that I was so passionate about. Like, I really wanted to be a dad. And I think when I found out that it was probably going to be a very slim chance that could be a possibility, it kind of got to me and I kind of shut down because I didn't know how to deal with it. And then that wasn't very helpful when you're in a relationship where, you know, your wife is going through health issues too, right? And then she's like, hey, like, who's more important here?
Yeah.
A baby that you want or a wife that you already have? And that put it into perspective for me. And that over the last year, we've been, you know, dealing with that of going, you know what, if I can't have a kid, at least I've got my wife that I love. And yeah, and I think that's not a chat that happens over dinner.
No, it's not.
That's a chat that lingers. And when you have to go on the radio the next day and then crack a laugh, but know that you're hurting inside and know that an accessory to that hurt is somebody that you love with all your heart and your wife, that's hard. That was hard. And then obviously starting a new gig as well, you know, in radio, that being able to like balance all that was pretty tough.
I know because I know you that you're someone who is very goal orientated and you focus on one thing and you are super successful in those things because you know what you can control. What you're really speaking to is when life sometimes hits you with things outside of your control.
Oh yeah. That's exactly it. Because like you said, I'm goal oriented, but I will only set goals that I know I can achieve. It's not those pipeline dreams. You know, it's like I'm only doing this because I know I can do it. But then you're right, when something hits you left field, you're like, oh damn, I was not expecting that and I do not have a plan. So
not trying to probe here, but like where do you, because we all want to say, oh well, Nickson's talking about it, you know, it's the journey must have ended and they just moved on, but like what is the feeling now, particularly for maybe men who are going through this or whānau who are going on this fertility journey? Like, what does it look like now, and how do you keep pushing through?
What it looks like now is obviously Sarah's still on recovery, you know, but we're going to like the fertility associates to like help us find options.
I mean, more so emotions.
Oh, emotions. No, I think my emotions, they do go through waves. You know, like some days I'm like, oh, up, and then some days I'm like, you know, and I think we both go through that, but I think what it's done is it's created us to talk more about those deeper feelings that we have. And I think over the last 10 years that we've been together married, probably the most real chats that we've ever had have been in the last year, the last 18 months, and which is a good reset for us to go, oh, even after a decade of being together, it's not because we're together for convenience. Like, we're actually wanting it to turn into 20 years and 30 years. So those more regular chats have been so much better for our emotions because we're just getting it out now. We're not holding it. There's no resentment.
I'm really proud of you, eh? Like,
that's
come a long way talking about your emotions, Nickson.
Which I never, ever did, because I never wanted people to get too in. But I think around you guys, obviously, like, it's a lot easier. And I think, you know, it's a blessing to have people like you guys in my life, because I know that you can help me smile through my pain. You know, I remember telling Jordan this story. And he roasted me, like, but that's what I
Only
need.
because I know you rang me to roast you.
Yeah,
I didn't
said-
want to.
No, I think I rang Jordan. I was like, I need you to mock me and mock me hard, just to get it out. Like, I just need it.
I had your back that day. I had
did.
a few good ones.
You had real good ones. Yeah. So I think that's what you need. You need people surrounding you that can just help you.
Yeah, 100. Not to wrap that part up, but I just want to say that it's one of the things I admire about you most. Your love for your wife, your love for love for Sarah.
Yes.
I loved how you are so open about it, even when we used to broadcast. And I found a love of my own, not to make it about me, but I actually feel like you're someone that I've thought of before. Like, I'd like to exemplify my love the same way Nickson does for Sarah. And so, like, thank you for sharing just about that when we asked you. It's not something that's super comfortable. But
I'm proud of you for finding.
Yes, here we go. Nickson, now you start asking him some questions
one day
about his love.
honestly,
Roast him back.
You and Sarah are close, but one day you'll get there. Experiencing what love like.
Come see me in 10 years, tell him.
No. While we're here, though,
What about your love life?
Shut
bro?
up, Nickson. Don't you dare. That's safe. Hey, very.
You're
Hey,
lucky it's
everyone's
you.
getting roasted.
You're lucky it's you. Do you still
I'm
go
not
to the cup?
leaving him out.
Do you still use the cup?
What cup?
You with the cup that you have to use?
Hey. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Oh, now you forgot.
What cup?
Nah, remember when you had to?
Oh yeah.
Didn't you do it in the car?
Yeah, I had to do it in the car.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
We're talking about chugging a beer, guys.
No, but if you've been through that journey, Jordan's
bro.
selling Brook off right now.
The
as we
worst,
speak.
bro.
But if you've been on that journey, you know you have to give a sample.
Mm.
You did it too.
No. But that was the best story because you said that they stopped them doing it at the clinic because they said it was unsanitary. Eh?
No,
So you had to go all the way home.
No, I had to do it in the car park.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, that's enough.
No, someone must have wrecked it for someone.
Oi,
You.
not the same car I've travelled in with you, was it?
Nah.
Oh,
No, the Audi.
that was the
Did
Audi.
you sell the Audi?
I sold it.
It's got the Volkswagen now.
slippery front
Sorry,
seats.
let's stay on point. I don't mean to. We might as well get the tough questions out while we're here.
Oh, what? Those weren't the tough
No.
questions?
No, actually, it's not tough. It's but I didn't want to bring it up, and I thought, why don't we? This should be a space where we can. We took Nate earlier,
Yeah.
and I think this is a good time to ask. People want to know how you feel about Nate. Like, I know that is your boy. I know that you got his back.
Yeah.
How do you and I also saw, no one got to see this, just quickly, but when I came through with I felt like we were moving so fast, and I never really talked to you about it, but I thought, I don't know if anyone's checking on Nickson too. Like, his mate, who is his boy, and I don't feel like that really got wrapped up properly. You didn't get kind of your
Closure.
your ending song.
It's kind of on trend for Nate. Like, he's never been able to resign from a job or say goodbye, like, and he'll laugh if he ever gets a chance to hear this. But I think the news at the moment, obviously most people, all people know now, like, it was the front page of the Herald for 2 days, but like that, I was heartbroken, like completely heartbroken for my mate. He is my, ride or die. And it's because of him that I got my chance in mainstream radio. But to see what has happened to him and watching the whole journey play out and knowing what was going on and what the outcome could possibly be, I was sad. And you never want to disown your mate, because things happen. But I think that
100%.
what I want people to know is that, like, he's doing well. He keeps in touch. And I think that the main thing is I want people kind of make a narrative of what they saw in the newspaper, where it's like we saw a journey of Nate. He's the first one to admit that if you do the crime, you do the time. But what people didn't understand is he actually did his time. And that's what hurts everyone that's close to him the most, is that he did his time and his family suffered for that. And then you make a redemption out of that, and he actually was on his own free will, with the help of Butterbean, he went out there, supported the community. He let go of all the stuff that was holding him back before. He went out there, was delivering food parcels to families who needed it, off his own free will. And helping people and families through COVID, back to his roots of his love for South Auckland. And then when he got his family life back together, he was on the straight and narrow, surrounding himself with the right people, they chuck him back in. And that's why everyone was upset that was close to him, because you're seeing somebody that has done so well to turn their
Turned it
life
around,
around
eh?
on his own free will. I want to make that very, very clear again. And then he gets pushed back.
Basically, he'd done everything that the justice system is asking of people, right?
Right.
Like, do your time, rehabilitate, find your right path, and go for it. So he
Yeah.
was on his right path, and then they've thrown him back in.
Exactly. And it's just like, man, and I just see that this happens to a lot of our people, that you know what you did was wrong. You paid your time, and you're now trying to make a better life for you and other people, and then you get pushed back. So, I mean, I'm sad. Like, it's just sad.
hear
to
it.
me.
100%. And I think sometimes as our people, we're short-sighted in that. Like, we are often the loudest when people start throwing the stones. And what we forget is that, and in Nate's case, definitely, there's a chance for redemption. And I hope that with him. And I think people have always come up to me and tried to ask about Nate or what do you know? And I've always shut it down, because what I never wanted to be a part of those conversations. What I try to remember is, like, I filled Nate's seat, and also I try to remember the Nate that gave to our people every morning,
Yeah.
and of service. And I think it's important for us to ask you, Nickson, and for you to share your thoughts on your bro, you know, because it's a good convo to have.
Oh,
It's not being had anywhere else.
the
It's almost
day-
like the papers are loudest, and then we don't ever
Nah.
share about it in these platforms or mediums.
Oh, I mean, like, I can't express how heartbroken I was, you know, on the number of occasions that, you know, this dude had been caught up in something that he probably shouldn't have. And I think the day that he left, I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And that was like pre even reaching out to you to come and fill that seat. I was like, what's happened? Like, it's Nickson and Nate, you know, like, I lost Lily, Nate had gone, and I was like, what's happened? Like, no one got to say goodbye. We didn't get to finish.
And then we didn't even get to say goodbye to you.
Carried it on.
Hang on, there's a theme here. There's someone
school, like the old school.
puppeteering the puppets.
I wanted to just gracefully just walk out the door. That's what I wanted. But I think when the seat that you sat on, especially alongside Nate, is a very important seat. Like, that seat represents the people. Like, that's what that seat, or what I envisioned when we created the morning crew, is that seat is always for the people. And I think the people that sit in that seat reflect that. And I think when you lose someone from that seat, if a station is not a station unless it's about the people.
100%. Those calf implants weren't yours, eh?
No. Do you know how many people ask
I've
me,
seen your calves, you know.
people, the amount of messages, they're like, the cuff implants though. And I was like, that's not me.
No, that's Nickson. I almost heard your voice when I read that. I thought, can you do me a solid?
Can you shove me some cuff
Hey, let's
implants?
quickly get out of here, okay? Like, unless there's anything you want to say, but have a
No,
think.
let's
I've
be
just
fun.
got the last verses for you. You kind of said it before, but I'll just ask it. My last questions. It's a verses.
Yeah,
Okay, this is
okay.
verses.
Yeah.
Brian McKnight versus Babyface.
Babyface.
Okay, cool. Corned beef spaghetti versus eggs Benny. Don't lie. Don't lie.
He's gonna lie.
Oh, I think you wrecked it with the spaghetti. Like, I would have picked corned beef.
Okay, eggs Benny.
Yeah, I'll go XB.
Okay,
I'm
great.
expected.
Mowing lawns versus or walking Billy, your dog.
No, it's Walking Billy. 100%.
This is
mowing
never
I
again
heard
though.
that.
This is like you'll never get to mow lawns again.
lawns. No, my dog is my life.
But lawns will be there forever. Billy will die one day. Like, or you'll go before Billy. I don't know who's going first. Like,
lawns
like
will still
death
be
is
there.
imminent.
I love how this is like, Nickson, this is a versus, but I will persuade you. To
no. Go, okay, Billy.
Billy.
Great.
Yeah.
Part one question. Of any brand station you've worked in, what were the top 2 shows you ever worked with?
Nickson, Nate, and Lily. And I really enjoyed Nickson, Kaylee, and Wairangi Kopu. I really enjoyed that one.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm my own team anyway. So, who's the top versus those shows?
Oh, Nickson, Nate, and Lily.
Cool.
Obviously.
You did well. Interesting answer. Would you rather be the best at singing or be the best at any instrument you picked up you could play well?
Any instrument.
Really?
Yeah.
Your main character vibes though, like You love karaoke, like you wanna.
No, I
What instrument?
My
main
way.
character vibes.
Do you know I used to come into the studio, the lights were dimmed, everyone's gone home, and Nickson's singing My Way by himself.
Frank Sinatra.
Bro, he would hang around and do that in the afternoons
He's like,
too.
grab a mic, you want to join in? And I was like, no. We're almost there. Would you rather be mega rich or mega content?
Mega content.
Because he's already rich.
Shut up.
I feel like that answer's changed in the last few years. That's great. Who's the GOAT, Richie versus Dan Carter?
Dan Carter.
It is, eh?
It is.
It is like
Nah, it's Richie.
kicking goals.
Nah, I think to be a goat, you got to have more than one dimension.
Okay, who's more the GOAT, Dan Carter or Manunu? See, this is what Manunu never gets put in there, but he should be put in there.
Yeah, nah, you're right. But Richie McCaw, cool man. But,
I got you, Richie. I got Richie.
But one dimensional.
True, 2 more questions. Who are you voting for?
National.
Nah, you piss me off.
You asked.
Nickson. Nix.
I love it.
You know what I like about it?
You're totally allowed to vote for who you want.
Totally.
Actually, there's nothing wrong with that.
I like Christopher Lux. He took me on a picnic.
Just vote Māori Party, bro. Like,
I'm not Māori.
That's okay.
Oh, you took-
Jordan
you-
said yesterday, you know Māoris, give it to them.
You've taken money from a Māori activation because they thought you were Māori. True or
That's their
false?
fault. That was their fault. They thought I was Māori.
Oh, that
Last
was the
one.
app. Oh, you
Last one, speak your truth. Old media versus new media.
No, new media. I love new media.
That's so nice.
No, I think it's good. I think there's room on the table for everyone to eat. I love that.
I love that. Well, I love you, Cayman, man.
Any closing thoughts?
No, keep doing what you're doing.
What's your dream one day?
To be the content director of Media.
That's the retirement plan.
Of the morning shift.
Why?
We're just jump on now.
Why though? We're just a little.
I told you
We're just a
I was
little.
there.
We're just a
On the
little
same paper.
independent.
Yeah.
We're just a little independent. Like, why would you want to do that?
I love it. I think you guys have great merch, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
We'll give you a hoodie after this.
I want to do the dishes tea towel.
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, we were
Nice.
okay. We got some of those. Hey, honestly, thank you so much for coming in. I'm not going to speak on behalf of everyone right here, but to me, you're
it.
the greatest ever do it,
You
man.
are the
You are the
greatest.
goat
You are
when
the
it comes to
greatest, bro.
sitting on that mic and talking to the people and making us feel something. And you've been around for so long. You've passed the test of time. You are the best to ever do it. We appreciate you coming in, and we appreciate you putting us together, man. We appreciate it.
Oh,
Our brother, man, Nickson Clark.
thank you so
High
much.
praise.
And you did very well.
Thanks, man.
This
Cheers, man.
is